Hey there YouTube! Today we're going to review the Gelware mouse pad. Now, reviewing a mouse pad, well, there's not a whole lot to think about a mouse pad. And in actuality, I never think about my mouse pad, and I only got this one recently because of an incident involving a sick child and my mouse pad went away. So then I started using my mouse on just my desk, and then I was quickly reminded why you use a mouse pad. And so using the mouse on my desk, my wrist started to hurt. And the other thing is that it wouldn't necessarily track on the table properly. So those are actual important review points to talk about with a mouse pad, which I'd never thought of before. First of all, that whole wrist ache thing, because apparently ergonomics is a thing, and yeah, a real thing, not just something someone made up for fun, that that wrist pad part actually plays a big deal as far as using your mouse for a considerable amount of time. So the gel part of the mouse pad, you need to make sure is not like a rock, because that can cause bruising there in your wrist, and also not so soft and so conforming that your wrist sinks into it. And this is something I really hadn't thought of before. When they display these things, they put a spot there where you can actually touch the wrist pad part of the mouse pad, so you can feel the firmness. I don't know how firm something is that's good mathematically by standard, but I think it's a lot like a pillow where you just have to press on it, and it depends probably on the size of your hand, your shape of your wrist, probably anything like arthritis or anything like that. So it's one of those where you just have to get a feel for your hand and realize how good it is for your wrist. Now this Gelware mouse pad has a nice firm mouse pad, but it gives under just a bit of weight, so that way it conforms to your wrist. And actually, I really like it from what I've tested with this so far. The next point that you don't really consider when you're using a mouse pad until you've gone back to just using a desk or the back of a piece of paper is that the texture of your mouse pad there, and I don't know how well the camera picks that up, but that texture is important as far as gripping the ball in your mouse or reflecting back the laser if you use an optical mouse. Now, my mouse is one that uses a laser, and it didn't track real well on my desk, and so I was very impressed at the difference in an actual texture. It's like a weave almost. So, but it's enough where the circuitry in the mouse detects it and flows very smoothly over it. And obviously you don't want a grippy pad, because that would grip your mouse and cause the pointer to kind of seize from place to place. So as far as the surface goes for my mouse, this thing has been working beautiful. There's one other thing that I never considered as far as a mouse pad until I picked up this mouse pad to bring it to my photography table here to actually do this review. And that's the back side, which you can see is covered in cat hair. But this plastic here, which it's almost tacky feeling, and when you put it on a nice smooth desk, it grabs on. And so when I actually picked up this mouse pad to bring in here, I had to actually peel it off my desk. So I had never considered that for a mouse pad before. But the fact that it's nice and tacky and actually kind of sticks to the desk means that when you're moving your mouse around, you never slide the pad around. So that's a very nice feature for this Gelware mouse pad. So yeah, I suggest this as a very good mouse pad. Of course, it depended upon how your wrist feels. I think the wrist is going to be the biggest individual factor, whereas I'm guessing most companies have gotten their textures down right, and I don't know how many companies have this nice backing, But I had never considered what features would be useful in a mouse pad because you never think of them. And hopefully that gives you guys something to think about as far as mouse pads when it comes time to get rid of your probably very dirty, very grubby mouse pad that's sitting next to your computer.